CTV News at 5 with Hudson Mack.
Good evening, I'm Andrew Johnson. Hudson Mack is away tonight. Thanks for joining us. ESQUIMALT is still kicking up a stink 2 days after the Capital Regional District unveiled plans for a potential biosolids facility in the heart of the community. The other option, the one ESQUIMALT's mayor likes, is to pump the sludge out to the Heartland landfill. There are pros and cons to both sites, but people in ESQUIMALT say there's a big pro for Heartland. It's not in anyone's backyard. CTV's Erin Glazier reports.
It's a picture that says 1,000 words.
That's exactly how we feel.
ESQUIMALT Mayor Barb Desjardins says the CRD is dumping the region's sewage treatment problem in her community, and she's all backed up about it.
There are no pros for Viewfield. The cons are many.
It's the closest proposed site for a biosolids facility to the proposed sewage treatment plant at McLaughlin Point, but Desjardins says the cons far outweigh the pros. The site is shorter in distance, will have long-term cost savings and generate heat and energy, but loss of industrial land in ESQUIMALT, loss of tax dollars, and the negative effects means an inequitable burden and a huge loss to a small community.
Heartland is much more equipped to deal with something like this than Viewfield Road. Viewfield Road should not have even come to the table.
Option 2, pumping the sludge 18 kilometers out of town. Pros include lower land costs and no surrounding neighbors. The cons, it's more difficult to get the finished energy product to market, and long-term operating costs are higher. Victoria Councillor Jeff Young says it's a hard decision, but if both the sewage treatment and biosolids plants are plopped in ESQUIMALT, the township should receive compensation.
But wouldn't it be silly to say we've got to spread the facilities around the municipalities, and we're prepared to pay a higher cost or have a higher cost facility to have it in different municipalities, when in 10 years, maybe, and probably in 50 years, we won't have all these municipalities.
But what about reopening the discussion around acquiring a piece of land that is large enough to house both facilities? Desjardins suggests looking to Colwood, where there's room to expand.
This plant is going to reach its capacity, and they're going to have to kick in for another plant. We're not looking in a long-term vision.
There is no design plan for the biosolids plant yet, but Desjardins says if it looks anything like the sewage treatment facility, it will be an ugly addition to her community, and she's encouraging people to rally against it.
At this point, over this site, people need to focus their thoughts and concerns down to CRD. It must be a recorded, a visible presence.
I will be there. It's too much for ESQUIMALT to take on.
Instead, the community will take on the CRD.
Erin Glazier joins us now live. Erin, people in ESQUIMALT are assembling as early as tomorrow to take their protest to the streets. Where can people go to have their voice heard?
Andrew, there are 2 rallies tomorrow. The first at Sax Point Park at 11, hosted by Amherst, a group that builds itself as an association of professional people with expert knowledge of wastewater treatment in the Victoria region. The second, the ESQUIMALT Residents Association, will gather at Harewood Park at 1 p.m. They will have speakers and then begin a protest walk at 1:30 past the proposed sludge treatment facility on Viewfield Road.
Erin, do we have any idea what kind of numbers we're expecting to these protests? Is this spread throughout the community?
I think so. There's quite a few people that are angry and lots that want to get out there and be visible and be heard, so you can expect, I would assume, in the hundreds tomorrow.
All right. It didn't take everyone long to gather. Thanks, Erin.
You're welcome.